The same day repeated for 1,000 years. 3 days later, Wu Chen said, I'm planning to close the net on Zhou Muqing. Jin Yuzhen said, great, I couldn't ask for anything more. So how do you need me to help? Wu Chen said, right now, Aijiao needs to cut ties with Zhou Muqing. You just focus on doing your job. The more professional, the better. Jin Yuzhen said, what? You mean? Wu Chen said, I already sent you the files on my way here. Take a look, as he points at his phone. Jin Yuzhen took it and said, The Waxia Super Pavilion in Nigeria, the Tang Dynasty Game Company at the Saudi Arabian National Game Center. Wu Chen said to himself, I just spoke with Tai and Lu and had them immediately change the legal representatives for the companies. Jin Yuzhen said, Nigeria Waxia Super Pavilion, Tang Dynasty Game Company at the Saudi Arabia National Game Center. So no matter what, no one can trace these two companies back to me. Wait, these two companies are incredibly profitable right now. Wu Chen, you really want me to help Zhou Muqing invest in these two? Wu Chen said, if they weren't genuinely fantastic projects, how else could we get him to take the bait? Jin Yuzhen said, I get it now. I've seen a setup just like this in a famous movie. You're so bad, Wu Chen. And she said to herself, wait, I think something just poked me from behind? As she smirks and said, Wu Chen, now be bad to me. Approximately, Wu Chen grabs her and said, you mean like this? Jin Yuzhen trembles and said, Zhou Muqing watched the video on his tablet as Tong Xin slaps the face of Oliver, and she said, who do you think you are? Who are you to have a say in an ad shoot? You get a tiny bit of fame and really think you're a big shot. Oliver said, Xin, can I not take it off? Tong Xin said, not take it off, tisk. Not only do you have to take it off, you have to release fan service merch too, as Oliver cries. Tong Xin said, otherwise, what makes a third-rate model from overseas like you worth 2 million? Oliver said, I don't think I can, and it's not right. Tong Xin said, what's not right about it? You don't know a darn thing. Oliver said, Xin, As Zhou Muqing turns off his tablet and said to himself, how is Tong Xin going to play this card with her second ad? Let's see if there's any news in the major group chats. So it's a targeted release for special clients, members group in the pre-sale chat. Aha, I knew it. How could a grocery delivery service make any real money? And in-home cooking, the real moneymaker was hidden. Tong Xin is actually getting into a shady business like in-home massages. Heaven is really on my side. That little chick Oliver is mine. As Oliver cries on the bar, she said, what should I do? Should I have a falling out with Ting? But if I do that, I'll be facing an exorbitant contract termination fee. As she continues to drink, Zhou Muqing was shocked as he saw Oliver drinking and said to himself, my men told me Oliver came here. She really is drinking her sorrows away at my bar. Heaven is truly on my side. Zhou Muqing said, Miss Oliver, it's just a small setback. There's no need to take it so hard. Oliver said, Zhou, Mr. Zhou, you. Zhou Muqing said, we only met once at the party, but I've been deeply infatuated with you ever since, Miss Oliver. That's why I've been keeping an eye on you. I had no idea you'd be so distraught. Come on, it's not the end of the world. Let's go back and talk things over. At Zhou Muqing's house, Oliver tells Zhou Muqing about her current predicament. Zhou Muqing said, it seems the clothes my servants bought fit you well, as he took a drink from his butler. Zhou Muqing sat closer to Oliver, puts down the cup and said, here, Miss Oliver, have some more hot ginger tea to warm yourself up. You can't afford to get sick at a time like this. Approximately, Oliver said, thank you. Zhou Muqing said, Miss Oliver, leave the matter of Tong Ting's termination fee to me. Oliver said, huh? Mr. Zhou, how did you know? Zhou Muqing said, in our line of work, 93% of the business intelligence comes from the market firsthand anyway. We're not just going to pay whatever that woman Tong demands. Don't worry about the specific amount. I'll have a professional team handle it. In short, your business is my business, Miss Oliver. I won't let you suffer even the slightest loss. By the way, what are your plans for the future? Oliver said, I don't know. I came to Waxia to develop my modeling career. I never expected something like this to happen. I may have to go back home and start over. As Zhou Muqing puts his hand on the delicate, firm legs of Oliver, Zhou Muqing said, it's okay, Miss Oliver. No matter which country you want to develop your career in, I'll go with you. Oliver said, Mr. Zhou, I owe you a great debt for your help. I should be the one repaying you properly. It's just that I've suffered a major setback in my life, and I don't have the ability to repay you right now. Zhou Muqing said, don't talk about repayment. There's no need to be such a stranger, as he places his hand on Oliver. Zhou Muqing said, Oliver, as long as you're willing, what's mine is yours. Oliver said, "No, Mr. Zhou, Miss Tong Ting made me realize something. The reason she can control me is that I don't have anything she truly cares about, just like in the TV shows I watch. In ancient times, ministers always had to have some kind of leverage that made the emperor wary, being able to live as you please, whenever you want. That's what's truly enviable," Mr. Zhou, approximately Zhou Muqing, said. Yeah, Oliver said, "unlike me, living under Zin's roof, completely at her mercy." Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, "This little chick has no idea I'm just scraping by under Ai Zhao's protection myself." But just as she said, "I can't go on like this. If I wait until something happens to find a solution like Oliver, it'll be too late. I need to prepare for a rainy day now." Zhou Muqing said, "Miss Oliver, you're truly my lucky star. No wonder I felt a natural instinct to get closer to you the moment I saw you." As he grabs Oliver closer to him, Oliver said, confused, "Eh? Mr. Zhou, what are you saying? Please don't." Zhou Muqing holds her firm legs and said, "Miss Oliver, you're just too important to me. Really, I have to take good care of you." Oliver said, Mr. Zhou, don't. This is only the second time we've met. Although, I don't think now is the right time." Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, "This innocent little thing really makes my heart race. She's completely different from those plastic surgery-faced internet celebrities. I feel like I'm experiencing my first love all over again. Fine, I'll wait a few more days. When the time comes, I'll pin her down, toy with her ruthlessly, and tear her apart." Zhou Muqing said, "Oliver, I lost my composure just now. My apologies. Make yourself at home. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back for you later." Oliver said, "Mr. Zhou, I'm sorry. I'm really not ready yet." Approximately, Zhou Muqing said, "Of course I understand," as Zhou Muqing walks away. Oliver calls Wu Chen and said, "Wu Chen, I told him everything, exactly according to the script you gave me." Wu Chen said, "Very good. While you're with him, if he tries to get handsy, you hit him. The more you hit him, the more real he'll think it is. You've worked hard, Oliver, but you won't have to be by his side for much longer." And he said to himself, "Now that both converging plot lines have been laid out for Zhou Muqing, I'm sure things are about to get much more interesting." In the secret room, Zhou Muqing said to himself, Ai Zhao's missions were always assigned via encrypted emails, untraceable phone calls, and self-destructing paper letters. The only evidence I managed to save was a recent unimportant letter. Luckily, I kept good records of every payment. The payments were split into the external accounts kept by the company accountant and the internal accounts kept by Jin Yuzhen. Looked at separately, you can spot some issues, but not many. But put them together, and they're irrefutable proof for reverse tracking. Hey, approximately. Now that my bargaining chips are in order, I feel so much lighter. If I hadn't organized all this, I wouldn't even remember just how much I've done for him. I was busy for pretty much the whole night. As Zhou Muqing looks at the sofa, he saw Oliver sleeping and said to himself, "Holy mother of pearl. I used to just think Oliver was my type, but looking closely now, this girl is truly the cream of the crop," as he swallows his rancid saliva. Zhou Muqing said to himself, "Especially these perfect feet. They smell so good. The scent of a young maiden, so wonderful." And he started to taste Oliver's dirty foot. Oliver suddenly woke up and kicks the gut of Zhou Muqing. Zhou Muqing said in pain, "Aye." And he blushed and said, "Oliver, did you not like it that way? It's okay. We can do it the normal way." Oliver said, "Mr. Zhou, I didn't mean to reject you. I'm just so anxious about my uncertain future that my body is instinctively resisting. I'm probably not in the mood for something like this right now." As Zhou Muqing sweats, Zhou Muqing said, "I've actually given your modeling career some serious thought. A gig like the one with the Tong family is beneath you. It's better to just drop it. Let's go to Europe, to the international fashion weeks in Paris, Milan, or London. Only there will I make you a top supermodel." Oliver said, "Mr. Zhou, that would be so much trouble for you." As she blushed, Zhou Muqing said, "Don't you worry about a thing. This is nothing for me. Just leave it all to me." As he smiled, Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, "I wasn't lying." After a whole night of staring at boring spreadsheets, all I could think about was where I was going to enjoy Olivery. After thinking it over, the best place to have fun with a foreign girl is in the Alps. The vibe there is just perfect. Oliver said, "Mr. Zhou, you're so good to me." Approximately, Zhou Muqing said, "I'm sorry I lost control for a moment. It's just because I like you so much. But don't worry, I promise it won't happen again." Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, there's plenty of time. When the moment is right, I'll take her for real." Zhou Muqing said, "Accountant Jin, come here at once. I have something to discuss." Jin Yuzhen said, "Yes, boss." Approximately a few moments later, Jin Yuzhen arrived and said, "Boss, what are your orders?" Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, how is this usually tipsy, perpetually dark-circled accountant Jin so radiant today? Was she always this charming? I don't remember her being like this. Jin Yuzhen said, confused, boss? Zhou Muqing said, oh, Uma, the proposal I asked you to think about. Have you made any progress? Jin Yuzhen said, you mentioned investing before, but you didn't specify your investment intentions, so I prepared two proposals, one for domestic investments and one for international. Boss, which sector would you prefer to focus on, or would you like to do both? Zhou Muqing said, let's go with the international sector. I can't be bothered with the rat race against the Tongs here in the country. If possible, try to find something with high returns that pays out quickly. Jin Yuzhen said, but that also means the risk is higher. Zhou Muqing said, you want to make big money without taking risks? I'm not the type who wants to have it both ways. Jin Yuzhen said, understood, boss. I've recently been tracking two extremely high-quality projects. Please take a look approximately. Zhou Muqing said, Nigeria? Saudi Arabia? Deeply tied to the local governments, huh? These could actually work. But have you done background checks on the Chinese people actually running them? Jin Yuzhen said, one is the Tang family from Shanghai. The other is Lu from the Greater Bay Area. Both of their businesses were thriving back in China. Zhou Muqing said, let me see. The Tang family. This Tang family is impressive. They're even building an Arabian Nights royal theme park in the Middle East. Lu, the man behind that Sister Huan who runs things in both the underworld and legitimate society in the Liangguang region. Accountant Jin, go all in on these two projects for me. I'm willing to invest most of my net worth in them for the long term. Jin Yuzhen said, boss, recently in Niger, West Africa, the government publicly tore up their agreements and nationalized the oil industry because the local Chinese businesses were making too much money. What if Nigeria and Saudi Arabia follow suit? We have to be prepared for that. Zhou Muqing said, you're overthinking it, Secretary Jin. If all those small countries had the guts to pull a stunt like that, we'd probably be in World War III. Make it happen now. Get me a massive position in them. Jin Yuzhen said, yes, boss. Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, now that I have an easier way to make money, I won't have to do that kind of dirty work anymore. To herself, anyone on the list was usually served the full doxing and cyberbullying package. If we didn't drive them to suicide, we'd make sure they fell into a deep depression. Either way, they had to be turned into a complete wreck. Also, on all the major Chinese internet platforms, wherever comments were allowed, we hired people to sow discord and provoke conflict, escalating the hostility, especially at prestigious universities. For exceptionally talented students, like that one professor, we would entice a jealous classmate to poison them, in order to physically reduce the number of top students in certain fields. The most troublesome job was hiring people to secretly rig a mine to explode, and then arranging for someone to brainwash the business owner into fleeing the country, making it easier to stir up social conflict. Although I was the one executing every single one of these schemes, they were all ordered by Ai Zhao. I was the one doing all the vile, family-destroying work, because I was his sole agent in the country, and now he hasn't contacted me in so long. If I'm not mistaken, Ai Zhao is probably planning to get rid of me. Zhou Muqing thinks to himself, even a cornered rabbit will bite. I need to strike first and use this money to pave my own way out. A few moments later, Zhou Muqing looks at Oliver and said to himself, she's sleeping so soundly, if only I could be sleeping next to Oliver too. I can't rush now. I have to handle this one step at a time. I'm smart enough. I can definitely make a clean getaway. And then Oliver and I will be together until the mountains crumble and the heavens meet the earth. He. Between heaven and earth in the Alps, we'll merge. Hard, as he smiled. Jin Yuzhen sneaks on the side as he sent a message to Wu Chen saying, Wu Chen, everything is proceeding smoothly. Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.